Please remember that the Lucy Pod is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If you have questions or concerns about your own amazing brain, please speak to a medical professional. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I speak to you all today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Lucy Pod. I hope that you are all well and are staying safe. Today I have a guest joining me to talk about all things ADHD. Please welcome Colleen Florendo to the pod. Hi Colleen, how are you?
Hi Lucy, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and just, speak about ADHD and let's see where it goes.
Sounds good. So before we get into it, tell us about yourself, plug your Instagram, tell us about what you do, who you are, and your interests.
For sure. So you can find me at I am Colleen Florendo. I think Lucy will drop my Instagram handle in the show notes.
I will.
I'm a copywriter, and I run my own business. I was diagnosed with ADHD 3 years ago. No, 4 years. What is 2020? That's 4 years.
That's 4 years, yes.
Yeah,
neither. I'm like, it could be 4 years. We don't know.
Something. There was some time jump somewhere in between. That's pretty much, I'd love to share a bit more about, my ADHD throughout the conversation that we're having today. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you actually did something I was already going to ask. I asked my guests a series of questions to get us warmed up. And the first one was, when were you diagnosed with ADHD? And you said about 4 years ago. So tick, you answered that. The next question I have is, what are your current hyperfixations or special interests?
Oh my God, I love that question. Okay, so I'm kind of obsessed with human design right now.
Okay, tell
I
me
don't know
more.
if you've heard of it. So it's basically like, I would say it's similar to like your zodiac signs, but on a whole other level.
Okay.
So I'm kind of obsessed with like downloading all the ebooks I'll never read, taking all the quizzes and like seeing if like someone says something different. So that's my hyperfixation right now. And basically the new Taylor Swift album.
Oh, yes. So you're a Swiftie?
Yes. I would say I'm a senior Swiftie.
You're a senior Swiftie. Well, you know what's so funny? I was on Threads and there's a ADHD Threads section and they were like, I think there's like should be a term for people who are ADHD and obsessed with Taylor Swift because I'm seeing a lot of that right now. So apparently a lot of people with ADHD love Taylor Swift. So that's like a new thing now. Swifties, but they're ADHD and they're just hyperfixating on her album. I love it. The third question I have is, what is an ADHD trait that you feel is unique to you, like one that you don't feel that many people have, which just could be a you thing, but you'd like to think like that's my ADHD and it's like makes me unique?
Oh, that's so interesting. That's a really good question. I think I would say I'm very unique at seeing patterns.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's a unique thing, but I see patterns a lot in terms of like, it makes sense with my copywriter background.
Yeah.
That I kind of see patterns in people's verbiage and the way in their voice. So that's easy for me to catch.
Interesting. Seeing patterns, which that's really interesting because I find like so many ADHDers would miss out on pattern recognition because we're focused on so many other things. Like I'm really bad with seeing patterns because of my dyscalculia. So that's very interesting that you can see them and it's such a useful skill to have. People think like, I don't need pattern recognition, but it's so important because everything has a pattern. It's so good for your brain. So that's a skill
as well because we skip through stuff, right? You're reading something and you skip through stuff and then it's like, and then it's just, and then I
And you
see
see a
it.
pattern. That's very
Um,
cool.
yeah,
I'm jealous now.
yeah.
I'm jealous. I want that ADHD trait. I want that pattern recognition. All right, so let's get into it. So the first question I have is, so I interview a lot of people who are like from Australia or North America, and I like to learn about how ADHD is perceived, where they're from and their context. So if I'm not mistaken, you're based in Stockholm in Sweden, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
tell me,
yes.
what's it like being ADHD over there? What's it like with your background being ADHD? How is that perceived? Tell me.
Yeah, okay. So I think, interesting question. So I don't know if you know this, but I moved to Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like same time I got diagnosed with my
There you
ADHD.
go. So 4 years ago.
So I was
Okay.
like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So I don't think I know enough about the language to be able to like say what they're, what's being said about people with
Mm.
ADHD. But I think one thing I did notice is that like, when a kid is showing a certain sign of having ADHD, then they're always like, oh, maybe they have ADHD. It's always like if they're
Oh,
showing something different, something irregular, then the assumption is like they have like
that they're
they're on the spectrum
ADHD.
or something.
And is
Yeah.
that in a
So or
positive
on the
way?
spectrum.
And is it in a positive way? Like, oh, they're
I
on the spectrum, or it's like, oh, they're ADHD and they're on the spectrum.
I think it was just like factual, like maybe. So I think that was something I noticed. But that's just I don't know enough about the language to be able to like make a like
Fair.
concrete observation. But I think if I can speak for where I came from,
Mm.
which is the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
that is much easier for me. I think
Yeah.
not a lot of people. I think since the main like what's the word like mechanism like doctors use
Yeah.
are geared towards ADHD in boys.
Yes. And then, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
with girls, it's not like dominant.
Yeah.
And so when I was diagnosed at like 29, damn, I'm old. Oh, I
You're
just shared
not
my
old.
age.
You're not old. We'll blur that out. We'll
Yeah.
blur that out. It's okay. It's like, I don't want people to know my age.
Yeah. Bleep it. So right, so it's like, and the thing is, my parents actually had me diagnosed as a kid because they were doctors. So like, of course, we went through like
Oh,
all the tests.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, but it didn't show. So it's
Wow.
interesting to see that people aren't really like no one really talks about neurodivergency in the Philippines. Yeah,
It's not
it's not
commonplace.
common.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Even
So
mental
interesting.
health, I think,
Yeah.
is still like slowly being like accepted or like opened up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I
think
don't know
there's
if that
that
answered the question.
stereotype. No, it does. There's that stereotype. Like I even hear from friends of all like backgrounds specifically. I hear from like because I'm half Italian. I hear from like Italian friends and Greek friends, and then I hear from Chinese friends, Filipino friends. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like ethnic parents. Like we just don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about
Mm,
neurodivergence. Like if I tell my mum I'm depressed, she's like, you're on your phone too much. And it's like, no, I actually like have
yeah,
depression, mum. Like and there's that sort of stereotype, and it's just not really talked about. Whereas with boys, like it's
mm,
more like, yeah, like he has ADHD and the mechanisms are sort of set
yeah,
up for them. So I'm wondering if it was missed
yeah,
in you because maybe they were looking for traits that are seen in boys, or it just didn't
yeah.
show up for, because sometimes testing too early is ineffective, but it's really interesting that it
Mm,
did not show up.
yeah,
I find that fascinating, but it's
yeah,
awesome your parents got you tested and all of that, and they're both doctors, so they probably,
yeah,
yeah, they knew what
yeah.
they were doing.
Because my diagnosis was an accidental diagnosis. So I
Okay.
was like having a call with like a psychologist because it was the pandemic.
Yeah, of
I was
course. We
depressed
all had a
too.
psychologist.
Um,
We all needed one after
yeah,
the pandemic. Yes.
yeah. So and then she's like, "Do you mind taking this like test? I just wanted to say something." Um, yeah. So
Stealth.
I do have I do have the inattentive ADHD.
Same.
So I think they're always looking for the hyper, the like
Boisterous,
right and like
intense. Yeah.
yeah, intense and
It's
like
not a lot
my
of
parents
people.
know I could never like stay with one radio station for like 30 minutes
Yeah.
or like even less. So that should have been like a flag of like, having an inattentive ADHD, and I struggle a lot with focusing,
Of
and
course.
yeah, so it was really interesting, and I think I felt angry at first, like, why didn't you guys catch it, right? But then I think that gave me like the permission slip to be like, okay, nothing's wrong with me, like,
No,
you
no, it's
know,
true. Yeah, I think a
yeah.
diagnosis can be like that. Even if it happens late, you then finally go, oh my
Mm,
God, this is
makes
why I
sense.
was so
Yeah.
weird. This is why I'm so not normal, but not in a bad way now. It's like now
Mm,
I can put as
mm,
to why I'm so odd.
yeah.
I'm not dumb. I'm not
Mm,
crazy.
mm,
I don't have something terrible with me. I just have ADHD, and you feel so much
mm,
you feel so much better. So thank you for
yeah.
sharing that. I want to talk about more about your feelings about being diagnosed. So you said you felt anger at first, obviously, because you were like, how did you
Mm,
miss this? Afterwards,
mm,
how did you feel? What were the next step? Did you go on medication? Did you implement
mhm.
things? What was the how did you feel and what happened afterwards?
I don't think I did anything in particular because I think when I spoke to the person that diagnosed me,
Mm.
she's like, it seems that you created your own system for yourself because at such a later stage, like she said, like people with ADHD usually take longer to finish college.
Yeah.
And like I've done it on time. I've also taken like grad school. Just like I was
Awesome.
like, girl, I don't know how I finished that. Like
But you
I
finished
really
it.
don't remember anything.
it's
Yeah,
all
I
it's all a
finished
haze.
it,
You're
but I
like,
don't remember.
no, I don't remember
It's a
how I
blur.
finished my degree. I'm like, did I? Am I sure? Like, I look at my diploma up on, I've got it framed. I'm like, did I do that? Who was that?
Yeah, so like we have all these like coping mechanisms
Mm.
to survive in such a, you know, world where nothing's really built for us. So I didn't really feel like a need to take medication. I think the only thing that I've like kind of brought into my like routine is I take lion's mane.
What is
I don't know if you're
that?
familiar. So it's like a mushroom tincture, and it helps with focus.
Lions. Wait, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, lion's mane. It's a type of mushroom, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a type of mushroom.
and that helps you focus. Oh, but is it like
Yeah.
oh? And is it? But is it
Yeah.
like mushrooms, like fun mushrooms, or is it
No,
just
it's
like
not, it's legal mushrooms.
it's like? I
Yeah.
like mushrooms. I like to be focused. So that's what you. So how often do you take that? What's
I usually take it when I have like lots of stuff to write and I'm just like, let's just hammer it out. Stop avoiding
that's
it.
so interesting. So where do
Yeah.
you get this lion's mane from?
So I think one good thing about like one of my favorite things about Sweden is like they're really open to like more
They're
herbal,
cool.
spiritual stuff. Yeah.
They're cool. They're
So
like
yeah,
we
they're cool when
we
they want to
love
be.
this. That's really interesting. Okay. And so
Yeah.
you don't feel like you need medication. You're like, I have my systems, I have my lion's mane mushroom, I'm good to go. You
Mm.
don't feel like you need meds. That's awesome.
Yeah, or like it was never really like I think the reason why I never considered it because I think I've created my own systems and maybe like I don't know who I'll be. So there's a fear in me, like I don't know who I'll be with the
Mm,
meds.
mm.
So there's that like I was like, oh, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But I'm very open to medication. Like
Yeah, but if it's working for you, it's working
yeah,
for you. That's what I say to people who are like
yeah,
critical of people who take meds or who don't. It's like it's whatever works. If
yeah,
you not taking
yeah,
meds works, God bless. If not taking meds works, then God bless. Like it just shouldn't matter. It just should be whatever works for
yeah. It
people.
shouldn't matter. Yeah,
And if you want to try
exactly
it, you
that.
try it. And if you don't want to. It's really quite simple. And people make it more complicated than
Yeah,
it needs to be. The next
yeah,
question I had was, so I want to know more about your job. You're a copywriter, which immediately makes me think of the show Mad Men with my favorite character Peggy, who's a copywriter,
yeah,
and she's such a slay.
Peggy.
So I want to know about what is a copywriter and how do you manage, because you're self-employed, right? You're freelance, you're
Yes.
doing it all on your own. So how do you do that and hold yourself accountable whilst also managing the ADHD? Because I'm sure you've got your systems and you've got your mushroom, but there's obviously other stuff that you're doing. So tell me about your job and how do you do it? Because it's amazing.
Yeah, oh my God. Yes. So I think also I love Mad Men.
It's
Like
such a good show.
they're the OGs.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
I just hated all the
The men.
the men stuff.
Yeah. You hated the
The
sexism.
men stuff.
When people watch it, they're like, it was really sexist. I'm like, yeah, that's like the point of the show. Like, it's to talk about sexism. Like the ads were just kind of like 1% of the show, and the rest it's it's about sexism.
But
And all of
copywriters
that.
were like eating it up. Like,
Yes. Oh my God.
Finding a show for us.
Literally, when I watched it, I was like, I'm going to be a copywriter. I don't know what that entails, but I'm going to be like Peggy. Like, I'm just going to be her. I don't know what degree I need, but I will be her. I was like 17 when I first watched it. I was like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. That is so funny. But it's interesting because like, my degree is not related to copywriting at all.
What did you do?
I took up economics and
Oh my God. Math
business
girl.
administration. So I know, I don't know how I became a math girl because like now I'm like 2
What's
plus 2 is
2020?
like
You're like, wait, it's
calculated.
2020. It was 4 years ago. We don't know. But economics is more like
Right.
philosophical, I find. It's not math. It's more like,
There's a lot of math.
oh, okay, see, I don't know what I'm trying. Like, it's
Yeah.
more philosophical. Like, no, it's actually maths.
I wish. No.
But you did
It was
it. You
really
did it.
math based.
Yeah.
To create like models for like stuff, like math models. So I was like, I don't know how the fuck I did it.
But you did it.
Yeah. And now I'm a copywriter. And I think
love
that's
that.
the thing that like, so when I was diagnosed, I was like kind of like I quit my job. Well, everyone was like worrying about their job. I was like, shit, my brain cannot handle the pandemic and just being at home and just everything.
It was
So
rough.
it was rough. I was doing freelance writing at that time. I used to write blogs. So I started
Nice.
as a blog writer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know how I got into copywriting. And I think maybe I had an ad, like I found an ad found me. And I was like, oh, it sounds interesting. And I guess copywriting, like, is basically the blend of like, it's an art and science of communicating to get people to move, take action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically what I do is I write for people.
Mm-hmm.
I combine their own unique self-expression and their audiences to make a copy or like messaging that will really like resonate with people, basically.
So you're like a creative and good AI, but you're real and smart. And you're
and I don't write fast.
And you don't write fast. But you're like, and I mean this in a good way, like you're like, we don't want ChatGPT because it sounds like ChatGPT. We want someone who has flair and talent and is not just being fed prompts. So you're Peggy from Mad Men. You're Peggy.
Yeah.
So basically, that's awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. So how do you run your business? How do you do it? How do you do it all? Because whenever I hear people say they're self-employed, I'm like, if I couldn't, I admire them.
It took a lot of like trial and error. I think as ADHD, we're not afraid of trial and error, you know? We're just like, okay, I might burn myself out with this process, but at least I'll find out. I don't like
and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like that's one thing I learned is like at first I was like just copying everyone's like business model, like how other copywriters would create their services and stuff like that. And I was like, this is so boring. I was like, I'm so bored. I don't want to write fucking websites all the time. And I was just like, and it took me forever to niche down. So one of the first steps usually people tell you in the business world, it's like, oh, you niche down. I was like, fuck that shit, no. But I unintentionally like gravitated to business coaches, to talk about all the sales they make and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then last year I was like, I'm so tired for writing for business coaches. I couldn't anymore. I was just like, just writing the same shit over and over again. And then, I kind of reflected on who I am. And I think that like introspection is something like, us ADHDers kind of do, like reflect a lot about our stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm soulful but not spiritual. I'm
I like that. I'm
a
soulful, not
badass.
spiritual. I like
I'm
that.
badass,
Mm-hmm.
but like badass seems so masculine. I don't know. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just like I think I'm a soulful baddie.
Yeah.
Um, and I started like just
Being that.
speaking that, and then my clients were like, they started calling themselves baddies. So I was like,
Like, I have
yeah,
my fans. I found my following. Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
baddies.
So just like, yeah, it's a long. I think since all like the business courses out there are built for non-neurodivergent,
Yeah. Of course.
it was hard to like just peel away from all the fucking systems, all the shoulds.
Yes.
Um, so
Yes.
like late last year was kind of like my aha moment
Mm.
to like just lean into, whatever excites me. And then combined with my knowledge of my human design, it kind of like gave me that like huge fucking permission slip to just, damned if I do, damned if I don't. Right.
Unapologetic.
Yeah.
Unapologetic. I like that. So how does your ADHD positively impact your work, which I think you already touched on, the fact that like we're not afraid of trial and error, and ADHDs can just produce so much. Like, you give me a
Mm-hmm.
prompt, I will write you a book. I will write you a trilogy within a week. It might not be the best trilogy, but it'll be really enjoyable.
Mm,
Like, we have an ability to just produce, and think up of new
mm.
things. And if it doesn't go well, we're like, I'm happy to restart. I'll delete
Bye.
this whole Word
Yeah.
document and it's fine. Whereas
Yeah.
people are like, oh my God, I could never like restart. Like, that would drive me crazy. I'm like, well, I definitely can. So what else do you find like that your ADHD positively impacts? How else do people feel more comfortable coming to you? Or are they like, no, I like don't want to go to a copywriter who's like ADHD. Like, I don't want that. How does it impact the work and people's
Yeah,
perception?
no, actually, like, I think at some point I was going to name myself as the neurodivergent copywriter.
Nice.
I almost did that,
Mm.
but I think my ADHD was like, "Ah, then you're boxing yourself in and stuff." And then I
Yes.
was like, I don't want to just be boxed in.
And
So I
typecast.
think
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And
Mm.
then I think how my ADHD has helped me is like I can see things that people don't. Which is like such a unique superpower. I think not a lot of like people like speak about. It's like
Mm.
so it's so funny. Like I think I don't know, not an analogy, maybe a story. So there's an ice cream truck in Sweden that goes around,
Mm.
and it looks like a what is it? A goat with big horns. What's it called? I forgot.
Oh, a ram?
The one that's like yeah, a ram.
A ram? Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, why is the ice cream truck looking like a uterus?
I just,
And they're like, wait, what?
see, I'm thinking of like a horror movie, like a Swedish horror film of like a thing with, and you're like, looks like a uterus.
Yeah.
So that shows you where we are. I watch too much true crime. I don't know what you're watching. Too much anatomy stuff. I'm thinking, why does it look like a
No.
uterus? That's
I
funny.
was like, why does it look like a uterus? But I
I
think
love
like my
that.
point of this is like we see things from such a unique lens,
Yes. Yes.
and that has helped. Like my client can just share like a conversation with me of how you know what went down with her and someone else in the DMs or whatever, and
Mm.
I could like spit it into a content angle immediately.
Yes.
So I think that has really like helped me a lot.
Mm.
And at first I was like, how do I teach them to see through my eyes,
Yes, it's
Because
so
like,
hard because
yeah,
it's like just you try to explain it to people and they're like, and but then when the finished product is there, they're like, oh, so I always say, this is what I think. I'm not explaining further, and then I'll do it, and they're like, oh, I see it, but I can't explain it because people don't get it. Well, neurotypicals don't get it. They
yeah,
think you're being strange. They're like, yeah, that's cute. Like, oh yeah, you think
yeah,
that. Like, that's really nice. You're like, just wait. Just wait until it's done and then it'll make sense to you. Just wait and then you'll see that
yeah,
it's a uterus on an ice cream truck. I want to see a
yeah,
picture of this ice
exactly.
cream truck. After we get off, I want to see what this ice cream truck is with a
I will
ram.
send it to you on Instagram. But
What
like, yeah,
marketing is that? Like, we have an ice cream truck and it's an ice cream, like, on top of it, like a little cartoon ice cream, and it plays, like, fun music. Not a
yeah,
ram. Does ice cream come from rams?
yeah.
I just want to know. I just want to know. We don't know. And do you find that people like do you tell people you're ADHD, or does it just like, it doesn't matter? Like you don't feel the need to disclose it when you're doing business with them? Like it's not, or do you want to tell them?
No, I think when I do talk about it, I would actually talk about it on my stories
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of like just informing them, because I feel
Yeah.
like it's not.
Relevant.
I don't see it as a disability.
No.
Yeah, so like I don't really tell people if they ask me. I don't mind. I'm proud of it,
Disclosing.
and
That's good. And how does ADHD negatively impact your work? Because even if we're really good at our jobs, which I know you are, it has moments where you're like, yeah, I'm just not doing the best. This isn't working.
I forget a lot.
Same. Don't we all?
So if it's not on my calendar,
It's not happening.
I've missed meetings because I didn't do the. Thank God for ad events, the calendar. Whoever created that shit,
Yes.
like thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Like thank you.
Thank you so much. Whoever invented it.
Yeah.
Love you.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, if it's not on my calendar, I would forget about it. If it's not on my to-do list, I would forget about it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty old school. I have like this big ass like weekly thingy where I write my to-do list.
Nice.
I can't do digital to-do list. I can't. Like I would.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I can do calendars, like I can do digital calendars, but if it's a to-do list, I need to write it down. And then I can put it on the computer or on my phone, but if I don't write it down, it's not happening. Like it's not real. I have to put pen to paper. Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I am the same.
And I also have like issues, I think, not really in my business, but when I was studying, I had to use a specific like highlighter and pen. If I didn't have it, I'm not gonna learn anything.
You're like, I forgot it. Today. I'm wagging class. I'm not showing up. It's like, can't you just go get it? No, I can't. I will not be doing that.
No, I just can't. I don't know.
The other thing I was going to ask, so you primarily work with like social media, right? Like it's mainly media and online. So does working on social media ever impact your ADHD? Like I know when I'm on my Lucy Pod account and I'm doing like the podcast stuff and I'm, doing all of that, I am focused on just putting out my content, my podcast, but I do go down a rabbit hole because it's social media, and it's not good for me. Like I had to delete TikTok because it just was not good for me. How do you maintain that balance? Because I'm sure there's moments where you're like, I'm doing work, and then you're like, this really looks fun, but it's for work. So how do you do it? How do you manage those distractions?
Oh my God, that's so funny because like I get distracted easily, so I think it's just really like giving myself like deadlines has been kind of like working, but like enough wiggle room to like fuck around.
Yeah. Because the next thing I was going to ask you is how do you give yourself accommodations? Because I know that in certain workplaces, like you can ask for accommodations, people, you can get extensions, you can get all of that. But when you're self-employed, it's you giving yourself those. So you're saying you give yourself like a deadline, but it's like, it's good enough. So
I give myself a week usually to write stuff.
That's good.
So I have time for market research and then a few like days to just let that simmer. It's like although I see patterns, I usually like wait for stuff to land for me.
Yep.
I'm just like, I think I just need time to like sit on the information, and not just straight ahead in writing. So I do have like a lot of wiggle room. Unlike before, it was just like my schedule was filled to the brim with like writing work, and I was just so fucking overstimulated all the time.
Yeah.
I also deleted my TikTok. I used to have TikTok Tuesdays, but it ended up being TikTok Tuesdays to Thursdays.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't. I was just like, let's just.
It's so bad. Like, I don't want to sound like a boomer and like, social, but it's so bad, TikTok. It is just so bad. I don't think people realize, not even for just ADHDers, but just people in general. They're going to do a long-term study and it's going to be found that TikTok is just, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah, and
addictive.
aren't they banning it in the US? There was some news.
I know. Let's hope
Yeah.
they do. People were shocked. I'm like, I don't believe in
I honestly.
banning, like, well, it depends on what it is, but I'm actually really okay if they ban it, and I would love it if they banned it here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, sorry, no
I actually,
offense to anyone doing TikTok. Like, people are like, I can make a living on that. You can do it on Reels. I just
I
think we
know.
shouldn't use it.
Yeah.
It's a terrible
Yeah, because I
app.
think it's just like
It's
just
disgusting. It's
yes, so
disgusting.
I've been practicing not doing social media on weekends or like, for my business as well.
Yes.
So I'm working with like a coach who really, just live my life during
Awesome.
weekends. Because I do have a tendency to like I am hyper fixated on my business, you could say.
Yeah, of course.
Because like I think my entire like career life, I was like I got so bored easily. Like I would stay at a job for like max 3 years.
That's pretty
I'd be like,
good.
I'm bored.
That's pretty good though. Like 3
I
years is pretty good. Like most ADHD is like I did it for a week and I got bored. So 3 years is like really, really, really good. I thought you were gonna say like 3 months.
yeah,
I'm like 3 years is good, but yeah, go on. So 3 years bored, then
yeah. And then I was kind of like, for the first time, I was like, I actually like what I'm doing.
that's so good.
Yeah, but
That's
then I'm like,
nice.
okay, but I can't be obsessed with it. I need like to
Yes.
live my life and like. So yesterday I was on the train and I was just like, okay, I have nothing. I'm not touching my phone, so I'm just sitting down on the train like a person from like the 70s. I was like, and then everyone was just like,
Yeah. Like
I was just
drooling.
like,
It's like,
look
and
at
I'm the
this
same. Like I know in
guy,
the you're like, it's
Yeah,
like
it's so
let's
hard.
get off. It's
It's
called rotting. I call
crazy.
it rotting. I have like rot mornings where I'll just be in on my phone in the morning and it's terrible because the minute I do that, I don't take my meds. I forget to take my meds and I know
Mm,
that the day is going to be
mm,
shocking. So I try not to go on my phone in the morning, but
yeah,
it just
yeah,
it happens. But I think that's
yeah.
really good. That next thing I was going to ask you, so with the accommodation, so you give yourself accommodations and whatnot. So where did you study, and was your uni like? Wait, so no, because you wouldn't have been. Wait, you were diagnosed 4 years ago, right? But you weren't studying.
Yeah,
When
so
when did you finish studying, or were you still studying
I
then?
finished studying. No, no. Oh my God, are you gonna ask me like an
No,
age-related
no, not an
question?
age. Because I'm trying to ask if like your university would have been supportive of accommodations, or when you've worked in the past whilst being ADHD, were people
Mm,
understanding what's the access like in the Philippines? What's access like to psychologists and medication and
oh,
support in
yeah,
Sweden, that sort of thing, like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I think like I don't think the school would have been accommodating, I would
Mm,
say. Workplace wise, I don't think as well because like I did work in an advertising agency similar to Peggy. I was like work in an agency, but fuck no, I'm never going back. It was just like we
toxic,
were like worked to the bones and everyone has bad habits because it's the only way to like release stress and
of
stuff.
course, of course.
Yeah, so I would say like yeah, no, like even if you're like saying you're drowning, because like I think we get easily drowned with stuff. I feel like you just have to like,
Push through,
power through it,
push through.
Yeah.
You. I know
Yeah,
you
how
can
can I
do it.
help for one day? Like, I don't need you for one day. I need you for life, And yeah. So it's that's an interesting question. Um but I
Like
think
if
in
yeah.
Sweden, like I did have like a tutor who was like I'm not a tutor, like in class, so I was taking up Swedish classes. And then they were like, if anyone is neurodivergent here, let me know so I can. But then they kind of gamified the class, which was good.
So
Um,
nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
I don't know if that's the same in regular schools, but I felt like,
that's really
oh, they
nice.
care
I
about
don't think I've
me.
ever
Yeah,
heard
I
that.
was
Like
just,
even at my uni, which is like, they're very good. Like if you tell them you have a disability or you've got a learning difficulty, they give you accommodations straight away. But teachers never start off by being like, and if anyone here is neurodivergent, which I don't think they don't do it because they're bad or they don't care, but they just don't do it. So that's really nice that they said like, oh, if anyone's neurodivergent, and you don't have to make that step because some people are embarrassed or don't want to talk about it. They've made it so that, you know, oh, I can bring it up with this person and it's not uncomfortable. That's so nice. Aw, that's sweet. I like that. And what's access like? Like we here in Australia, we have a bit of a problem. Well, we had a big problem with waiting lines with psychologists, like trying to get diagnosed. Like people were being told it could be up to 12 months. We don't know when you'll get diagnosed. It's the same?
Yeah, it's the same in Sweden. So when I did tell them I have ADHD, they were like, yeah, we could see it, like the inattentive one, but we can't like just go off of like someone else's diagnosis from the Philippines. We have to make our own diagnosis. So I was like, okay. And then they were like, okay, you have to do this and that. And I was just like, it might take a year. And I was like,
but you have my diagnosis. That's sketchy. It's like we don't accept
like,
that card here.
Yeah. Like,
why would I claim it?
ADHD? Like
in the Philippines for fun. Like in the Philippines I got diagnosed for fun. They lied. And then I came here and I met. I don't.
Yeah. So that part was a bit weird. I was like, I don't need to get diagnosed anymore. Like Again, I just accepted it.
That's like just take my money, take the bank transfer. Like don't say you don't accept this currency, just take it. Like I've given it to you. I'm saying I'm ADHD. Here's the that's weird to me. That's so strange. Like usually it's enough. Like for medication, it's a bit different. Like I think they need to assess because it's got health implications and whatnot. Like I'm pretty sure here, if you were to come or anyone were to come and they were diagnosed with ADHD and they wanted to be medicated, they would still have to go through a test, which I guess is fair enough health-wise, but to just be viewed as ADHD, like that's enough if you've got a diagnosis elsewhere. You've got the diagnosis, that's fine.
I didn't invent stuff and be like, oh yeah, on TikTok it said I have ADHD and therefore.
Yeah, you know? Or like I looked at a star sign and it said I was. It's like, no, that's not, that's not what happened. So, okay, that's really, that's very, very, that's so strange to me. I find that bizarre. I want to talk more about, before we talk more about social media and that aspect, so you said to me that you didn't feel like you were capable of anything when you had your diagnosis, and now you've got this awesome business that you're running. Talk to me more about that, because a lot of the time I feel like when we hear ADHD stories, they're very sad, and I think there's a place for sad ADHD stories because not everyone has a good time with it. But it's so much better to hear about good stories and how it's not dark forever. And I don't want to be corny, but it is not horrible forever. So can you tell us about that? Because I think people should hear it. It makes people feel better.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think, like, as with any ADHDer, like, we've always felt like the oddball out. Like, you're like, why am I just not motivated enough, you know? Everyone's like rising the fucking like corporate ladder in life needs speed, and I'm just like trying to get through my day, you know? Like
I'm just trying to get through
today's to-do list. Yeah, and I'm just like frustrated. Like
you feel behind. You're like, I'm always catching up. You're always catching up, and it's like I'm never gonna catch up. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and it just feels like that life's just maybe just life is not for me, you know. And like even now when I share like my business with my family, they're just like, dude, we're like so shocked because like you never showed, like even my friends from uni, they were so shocked that like you never showed any interest in, career wise, like
just not in the way you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, but like it's so interesting to hear that they're like, you've grown so much. And I don't think I've grown. I think it's just always been inside of me. But since I was like boxed in such a like rigid place. There was just no room for it. And, I think, yeah, like my ADHD was like my best, like I would say the silver lining during the pandemic, because I was like, oh, okay, finally, like one thing makes sense now. At least one part of my life makes sense. And I'm just not scared anymore. And I think that's why I'm like, it's so hard to like decentralize from my business, and everyone's like, oh, you don't have enough motivation, enough
Ah,
desire to succeed. And I'm like, watch me,
watch.
bitch.
Watch. No, and it's not
Yeah.
because you feel like you have to prove yourself. It's not that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's innate. It's so weird because it's nice when you hear people say, "Oh, you've grown so much," but it also is a bit insulting when
Yeah.
they're so shocked. Like when you tell people and they're like,
Yeah.
"You're doing that?" Like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, what did you
Yeah.
think I was like? Where did you think I was going to end up?
End up. Yeah.
Like I was gonna be fun. Like even when I used to go back to my primary school, where my teachers said to me, "You won't amount to anything. You'll be a checkout chick." Which there's nothing wrong
Hmm.
with being a checkout chick, but they weren't
Yeah.
saying it for that reason. They were trying to be,
Yeah. Yeah.
horrible. And when I would tell them, oh, I like they'd ask me, oh, how are you in high school? Did you make it out of high school? And I'd say, yeah, I'm, choir captain and this and singing and I'm doing that. And they would say, this is like a different person. Like, are you sure? Why couldn't you have been like that beforehand? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. It's like, because I had a teacher like you. So I had you as a teacher. That's why I was unable. And it's like so
Yeah.
rude because they're so shocked. And it's like, I always had it in me. You just didn't invest. And I know you had 20 other
Yeah. And
students
I
to
think
worry
that
about,
sucks.
but.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think it's the same in like the business world. It's like really be careful who you want to learn from, or who you listen to.
Mm,
Like if those teachers you had, they weren't invested in you.
no,
It's just so scary. Like imagine children, like
that's terrible.
there should be like a rigid like system
Test.
in place to qualify like for a teacher, because that's early year formation, subconscious mind and whatever, like,
Like they always
right?
say, your brain is a
So
sponge when you're little. And thank God I was a resilient
yeah.
kid and I had great parents and it was fine. That didn't affect me. But I think, imagine if you
Mhm.
said that to the wrong child. Not the wrong child, but just a different child.
Yeah.
Uh,
Imagine like how their life would have turned out if they were someone that really took
didn't
it to heart and
really, and
yeah,
had
didn't
other
believe in
issues.
themselves.
It could have been, it
Yeah.
could be catastrophic. So no, I completely agree. And did you say you have a coach or did I mishear that? You said something about a coach.
Yeah, yeah. So I have multiple coaches I'm
That's
working with.
awesome. Are they
So
ADHD
yeah.
coaches or they're business coaches?
So I do work with a couple. Some
Mm-hmm.
are like leadership coaches. Some
Yep.
are, one of them is a business coach. I have one for like, she's a mindset and hypnosis coach. Hypno, yeah.
Oh my God. So what's a
So
hypno coach? The other ones are cool, but the hypno coach sounds way more interesting. So tell me about what does a hypno
yeah,
coach do? Do they hypnotize you into doing your work? I need that.
I
My
wish, I wish, but I think it's more like they really help you like ingrain certain beliefs you have about yourself. So I think one of the things I struggle with the most is imposter syndrome. Um,
yes.
I think it was like, oh shit, like all my life I've been told, I'm not good at something. And then, suddenly I'm running a whole business, and
It's too good to be
then it's
true.
kind of hard to get out to the, yeah, yeah, it's too good to be true. So I was
Mm.
like, I need someone to like just help me for the next 6 months to really like just, anchor in that belief and stuff. So
That's awesome. So how do they do so they help you do so how would they do that? Is it through hypnosis? Is it through like I'm fascinated. So how do they ingrain those like positive beliefs that you have about yourself? How do they do it?
yeah, so she does it through hypnotherapy.
Nice.
So So it's really getting you to a relaxed state where your mind is more open to receiving these new tones, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah, so we're starting actually this May, but I've done her like pre-recorded ones. And I was like, is it normal to be falling asleep? Like, I was like, I haven't heard the whole thing like while I'm awake. And she's, it's actually good that you're a bit like, it means you relax that you fell asleep.
If you feel comfortable enough to fall
So,
asleep.
yeah,
I love
was like,
that.
I'm failing at this. I'm
She
failing. I was
hypnotized
like,
me to sleep. I
I
feel
was
like
like, I am
hypnosis wouldn't
failing
work on me.
again.
I feel like
I was like,
hypnosis
doing
wouldn't
it
work on
wrong.
me. I feel like like
Yeah.
even meditation. I mean, I haven't tried it because I feel like every time like in high school, and God bless them, we would have like mindfulness classes where like we'd have to do mindfulness, and they'd say, make your brain empty, hear nothing. I'm like,
Oh, that's
okay, well
so
that's just
hard.
not like, that's so rude. Like, don't, like,
Yeah.
that's so disrespectful.
Never say
Like,
that to an
like,
ADHD.
excuse me, like, make sure your brain is clear. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Don't tell me my brain is clear. Like, don't talk to
Yeah.
me like that. And they would walk around and be like, picture an ocean. It's like, fuck you. I'm picturing 1,000 oceans. Like, go to hell. And now I'm thinking about something else. It's so cruel. So I feel like hypnosis would not work on me, but maybe I should try it. Is that like a Sweden thing? Like, hypnosis cool, or is it like popular in general, or is it something that like you
No, I
found?
think it was more like I had a client approach me, so I write for her, and then
Awesome.
I don't know, and then there was this other girl who was also like a service provider, so we used to like she didn't do copywriting, but she was an OBM, which was like she manages the business and stuff for
Awesome.
you. And then she combined, and then she became a business coach, and then I did hypnotherapy or something. And I was like, that's so cool because I was like, I've been doing a lot of like inner work, like somatics as well. I don't know if you're familiar with somatic work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, but I just can't, I can regulate my nervous system, but my beliefs are still there, something's
Of
missing.
course.
So I think that's
Mm.
just kind of how I think I was going for a more holistic approach to my business this year
Mm-hmm.
versus okay, strategy. It's like I have all the strategies in the world. I don't need
I don't need
maybe
that.
sure I need some refinement, some finessing
Mm.
in my structures and funnels, but I was like, but it's more a me issue.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
It's
want to
a
call myself an issue, but
no. But
yeah.
it's a me thing. It's a thing. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
don't want to call it an issue, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. And have you done like do you do therapy as well? If you don't mind me asking, like, do you go to
Hmm.
therapy? Do you think that's something you need?
Yeah.
Because a lot of ADHD is like, I for the longest time was like, I don't, how do I put it? I don't feel like I need therapy. I only need therapy if something is upsetting me. And for me, I always viewed
Hmm.
therapy as something I did in the path to get diagnosed, because I had to go to so many doctors, so many
Mm,
psychs
that makes
to do
sense.
all the testing, and they were fine, but
Mm.
I don't need it. I'm very good with, I don't want to say that people who go to therapy aren't good with their emotions, but like, I can probably sort things out. If something's really bothering me and something's getting
Hmm.
really big, I will seek therapy. But for most of the time, I think I'm
Mm.
okay. How do you feel about therapy?
Mm.
Is it something you need a lot of, or like not at all? Or therapy is
Mm.
great, by the way. Even if you don't do it, therapy is
Yeah.
awesome. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean like I go through seasons where I need it,
Yeah,
and seasons when I don't. So that's just
yeah,
me.
I'm
And
the
I
same.
think like, people should like see it as the like seasons. The seasons are so like it just shows you like in nature,
Yep,
right? Nature is cyclical,
yep.
and I feel like nothing should be like everyone's. For example, I attended Elizabeth Gilbert's. You know her, the girl that wrote
Oh,
Eat, Pray, Love.
oh, slay. Yeah, awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I saw her, and she was like talking about people's, living a purpose-driven life and stuff, and
Mm.
that's common in the business world, finding your purpose and stuff.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I think at first I was like, fuck, what do I do with my life? Because she said it's egocentric,
Yeah.
which I get. But also I was like, okay, maybe that could be her truth right now. Maybe that could not be her truth tomorrow. So it's
Yes.
just like, I'm in a season where I think I want to find my purpose,
Mm,
or I'm in a season where
I don't need to.
I take therapy. Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
like
Yep.
people, it's not set in stone. There's no, I feel like people take things too seriously, or like everything's forever, or like
Everything.
too,
And I think people don't realize, and I hope no one misconstrues this, feelings are just feelings. And when I say
Yeah.
that, people are like, but what about people with depression? It's like, we're not talking about people with clinical
Yeah.
conditions. I would never say to
Yeah.
someone who's got clinical
Yeah.
depression, you're just depressed. That's just a feeling. Like, I would never say that. But just in
No. Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
feelings are just feelings. Feelings are
Yeah.
so unreliable because they are so fleeting. And I think especially with ADHD is like, I can be enraged in one moment and then you say one other thing and I'm happy and chill, which people are thinking,
Yeah.
girl, that sounds like you're bipolar. It's like, no, I'm not bipolar.
Yeah.
And that's a silly stereotype. But feelings are so fleeting and temporary, and we put far too much
Yeah.
stock into how we feel, and everything
Yeah.
we feel has to be because of this. If I feel this way, it's because I'm this. And if I don't feel that way, it's like, it's okay. Like, just calm down the
Yeah.
noise. I think that's why therapy is good and bad. I think therapy can help you just, you're not crazy, you're feeling this way, it's temporary, you're
Yeah.
fine. But it can also be really good with like managing feelings that aren't going away, that are probably indicative of something else. But they are a season,
Yeah.
they are always changing.
Yeah.
And not one day is the
Yeah.
same. When it's winter, it's not always raining, it's not always snowing. So I
Yeah.
think emotions are the
Yeah.
same way. I think people need to
Yeah.
realize that. But therapy is great. People should go to it. But yeah, I don't feel the need to go. Like during the pandemic, I went a lot because I was very angry about the
Mm.
pandemic. And looking back, it was a bit entitled because compared to other people, what they were going through, I had it pretty good. But I dealt with a lot of like anger of like, why is this happening? Like, it's not fair.
Mm.
I have to do my degree alone. And it was just repetitive bad thoughts. And I saw a therapist and it was like, it didn't really help. But then the pandemic ended and
Mm.
it was fine. But I don't feel the need to go to one. I just feel like I need to
Mm.
have my medication, which we've talked about. You said you feel like you don't need it. You said earlier you feel like you
I
don't
don't
need
have
it, which is,
any ADHD meds, but I
yeah,
do have my
you're
anxiety and depression meds.
okay.
So yeah,
And
then I'm
how do you
open
to talk? So how do you feel with your medication? So you take antidepressants. How does the
Mm.
ADHD impact anxiety and depression? Because it's very common for people who are ADHD to struggle with anxiety and depression, and sometimes that's what it gets
Mm-hmm.
mistaken for. So what's that
Mm.
like?
So my diagnosis is pretty like recent,
Mm,
like in March.
mm. That's
So I
recent,
think
yeah.
yeah, so it's just because something happened, and then
Mm,
I had to take the meds.
of course, yeah.
Um, so it was not really, I wasn't really thinking about like ADHD in relation to that.
It was
So
something that happened, like a situational.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
do you find so with that medication, is that helping you? Like that's good and it's positive because there's so much stigma around taking antidepressants, and it just really shouldn't
Yes,
be.
yes.
So
Yeah,
it's
no.
working.
Yeah, I think because like the before was like I could be just crying eating like my banana. Like, it was just like so bad. Like
Yeah.
even though like the traumatic event has ended,
Yes. Yeah.
like
But
afterward I was just like I had some dissonance. I
mm,
was just like, I'm like, hey, like I don't understand.
mm,
And I think I was explaining to my therapist, she's like, can you explain to me like, because she couldn't understand why it was so intense. And I was like, well, no
mm.
one will understand.
No,
And I was like, let's just say I was like in the middle of a war zone. And then the next day I got saved. And then a week from then, I'm celebrating Easter in my new home. I'm like, did I
that's
just not go through a war? Like, I was just like,
like
you
what?
know?
Whoa, whiplash. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Mm,
I'm
mm,
confused about my reality. So I think the
mm.
meds has kind of like made me a bit more see things a bit clearly. And yeah.
That's really good because you hear a lot of negative stuff about antibiotics, like it makes you a zombie, it doesn't work, which for some people it doesn't, but for a lot of people it does.
Wrong medicine for them as well.
And the wrong dosage and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it just, and you said earlier you feel like you're worried, you have a fear that the meds might change you. And my parents had this fear because I went on medication when I was 13 and my parents did not want to medicate me so young, even though they don't think there's anything wrong with being medicated. They were like, that's just very young. Like, what if it changes her personality? It didn't. But there is that that fear with meds. But if you don't feel like you need to take them, then you just don't feel like you need to take them.
I think people who aren't affected by their meds should we need to put a voice to those people.
Yeah.
Because then we're more informed about
totally
nuances and experiences, right?
Yeah.
But I think when I did take a full dosage of my medicine, I was
a bit.
I was like drinking water and the water.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Like, yeah. No. Meds can definitely change you. Like it's I think it's a myth that like if you take ADHD meds you become weird. Like no, but when I forget to take my meds and I take them, I double dose. Like I accidentally double dose. I'm high as a kite. Like it's really bad. Like I am insane. I don't know if other people can see how insane I am, but I like feel insane and it really changes me. But that's because I've taken too much. It's not because it's not because of
exactly
the medication and whatnot. So with the anxiety and the depression, how is that perceived in Sweden? Are they like open about it? Is it, commonplace or is it taboo? How was it getting the medication and getting the diagnosis? What was that like?
Yeah, no, it was smooth. I think they're very open with giving
mental
you
health.
that help. Although like there's a backlog in appointments.
Of
So
course.
it is quite difficult as well, especially since the other one my original therapist gave birth, so then there's only one person in that clinic, which is like drowning in
of course.
Our healthcare is also like what's the word? Paid for?
Oh, it's universal healthcare. Yeah, free healthcare.
But free healthcare basically.
Free healthcare, like bulk.
So,
like bulk billing. Yeah, like we have here. Yeah, where you don't pay. That's awesome.
So it is covered. Like mental health is covered.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. And I'm just like, I have like the option to actually choose. Like if I need it, yes, it's there. If I don't need it, then it's okay.
That's fantastic.
And then medication-wise, I first got my diagnosis in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, bro, my stock is running out. So I went to the doctor, and I wouldn't say it was like hard to get
meds,
like replacement medicine for that.
Stock up, yeah.
They didn't give me the same thing because EU rules is different from Asia rules, I guess.
Yes.
So they did give me something different, but they are open.
That's good.
Sweden is very like, let's do sound healing. Let's do
woo woo.
Yeah, let's do forest sauna. Those kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things kind of help. I did one last year. I did a retreat last year, and I did an ice bath. I was like, holy shit, I'm from the fucking Philippines, and you guys want me to swim in like negative 15 water, and they're like, it's just for 1 second. And
it's like no,
it was
go fuck yourself.
It was like an awakening. It was crazy.
It was really good.
Crazy.
Okay, maybe I need to do one because I always see people, like I follow a couple of people who they sell it really badly. They're like, I today want to be free like a bird, so I did an ice bath, and it's like, okay, okay, just like relax, and then they after they do the ice bath, they're like, I feel so free, like now all my symptoms are gone, and it's like, okay, like it's a lot, like but I will do an ice bath because apparently it is actually good for you, like to do ice baths. Like apparently we should be taking cold showers. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I might try an ice bath.
I could only focus on your breathing. There's
That's
nothing else you're focusing on because,
just
like,
breathing.
you know,
You
if you
can't.
think about the cold, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, you just have to think your way through it. Interesting. So it's more holistic, but it's not shunned to take medication in Sweden. Like if you want to do an ice bath
No.
or you want to take meds, no one cares.
No.
Like if you tell people you're on medication, are they like, same, which ones? Or is it like, oh, cool, or ill?
I think it's more like, oh, I'm glad you get the help.
That's great.
I think it's more the reaction, and I think like I don't think I've met people who are on medication as well. So I think that, but then most of my friends are Filipinos, so I don't know if it's that
Well, yeah. If it's just, and in the Philippines, what's it like with the, I think we touched on it earlier about mental health. How is being on medication for anxiety and depression viewed? Like, is that sort of like you can have your meds, but we don't talk about it. Like you just got to deal with it. Like I remember my grandparents grew up, you know, during the Second World War, and everything that they would describe, I'm like, oh, no, like that sounds like depression and anxiety. And they're like, no, it's just having bad memories and we got over. I'm like, yeah, that's called trauma, like having bad memories and thinking about them and getting upset. But it's like you just don't talk about it. Like we were fine, we made it, we were scared, but we conquered, and that's why we're so stable. It's like, yeah, okay, you weren't very stable, but you know. So how is that in the Philippines? Is it taboo? Is it, what's it like?
I think more and more, like ever since the pandemic, like people are more open to
That's good.
mental awareness and stuff like that, which is really good. And I think so many boomers are just, they don't think through that lens. They just say whatever they want to say, right? They're just like all the aunties are like, oh, why did you get fat and something like that, they're like that.
That's one thing. You know how you have ethnic grandparents, or how you can tell if they comment on your weight. Like that's the first thing they say. They're like, "Why are you so fat and ugly today?" It's like I'm just here. I'm just literally trying to exist. Like I don't need this right now. Yeah, they didn't have eating disorders back then. Yeah, and they're like, "You're fine." It's like, yeah, you clearly didn't have eating disorders back then. Little do you know these comments are hurtful, grandma. So it's
people are more. Like people are more like willing to not fight back, but like that's not a nice thing to say. Like I'm not here for it. Yeah.
That's good. So, do you find that people around you, like your family and your friends, they're like, you got to do what you got to do? Or are you like, they're a bit less open, or you feel like you can't really tell them? How are they about it? Because my parents are like so open. It's almost a bit annoying at times, but I love them for it. Like they're very open about that stuff and my ADHD. How is it with your community and your circle?
Yeah, no, I think I would say my parents were like a bit like, no way, but I think that's just them because they did have me diagnosed. So I think it was more that, but I think when I was kind of like in my acceptance phase, I was like, okay, here's my truth. I've already accepted it. It doesn't matter what you think had done before, or whatever that doctor said, but I've accepted it. So
it is what it is.
We're speaking from a standpoint where I've already accepted it, and I will be treated as someone with ADHD. So, and then my mom's like, "Oh shit, maybe I have them too." It's just so funny. She said, "I did a TikTok this." I'm like, "Girl, you're a doctor.
You're a doctor." I was gonna say, like, get off TikTok, mum. It's like a doctor. Like it's not my mum's a Temu victim. She's a TikTok victim. Like she needs to get off TikTok. We need to not let
my mom not let boomers use social media because they are crazy. They are crazy.
They can be really bad. Like they can be really wholesome. Like my mum follows antique pages on Facebook, like to find antique vases, and I'm like, oh, God bless. And then you just see those weird boomers like stitching videos going, this young woman dressed inappropriately, shaking her body. I don't like this. Like, okay, get your child to delete your account. We really need to nip this in the bud.
Yeah.
So before we close up, any closing statements, what you want people to know about you, where they can find you, and all of that. So leave us with a bit of wisdom from you, because I think you've imparted a lot of wisdom that people will hear in the first one, but they'll have to go back and listen, and they'll be like golden little moments that are really lovely. So what can you give us to top this all off?
I think it would be that, yes, I agree that ADHD can be limiting in some ways.
Of course.
But like as I said, like it can also be your superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's just like reviewing those parts that you've dismissed because it doesn't fit in society's picture perfect standard, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just reviewing them and not, because I think like people go like, oh, do self-love right away. Love that part of you. Like you can't go from like,
no,
I hate that part of me to suddenly
I love
loving
it.
it.
That's
maybe
ridiculous.
just like review, the stuff you kind of like, push under the rug and then see where that leads up to. And I think like you are so much more capable than you think. That sounds cheesy, but
no, but it's true.
It is true.
It is true.
Yeah.
And people are going to roll their eyes and people are having a bad time, but it is true. We are far more capable than we think.
Yeah.
I'm a Quaker in that way. It's like we are capable of so many great things. And we're told we're not, and we just really are, because look what we're doing. Yeah. Like you are on this, I have my podcast, I'm having guests like you have your own business, you are running it, and we are capable of doing really good things. And they might not be, like you may not go the same route like a neurotypical, I went to school, I got my degree, I got the job, I figured it out, I was set. Okay, that's great. I did the degree, I had a few jobs, I didn't know what I was doing, but I got there. And that's the point.
Yeah.
You got there.
Yeah, exactly. You got this. And like, it doesn't matter the journey if we all end up in the same place.
Yeah. Because we all do.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all do. Yeah.
So where can people find you? Where can they see your beautiful work and your creativity? Where can we find you? Plug yourself.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. I am Colleen Florendo, and I'm also sharing my Substack. I started a Substack.
I need to. Do you have to pay to do a Substack? Because I want to get onto that. We'll talk about it after. Awesome. Okay. Nice.
And you can start a potty there. So I started a podcast there, and apparently you can connect it to Spotify. So I was like, 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh my God! Awesome.
We love efficiency. So
love that.
So yeah.
I will put that all in the description notes and everything like that. So don't forget to follow Colleen and follow me on all of your favorite streaming and social media platforms. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.